Durga Puja is back, and with that a lot of new things, new clothes, new shoes, new TV, new food. Durga Puja is about a lot of fun actually, and every day it spans over 4-5 days, and every day when the sun goes down you have the dhakir baddi, the dum da da dum da dum da dum, and with that all the boys and girls come out and party. There's music, there's fun, games, food, and of course there is always a jatra or a musical program or something like that. So today we're focusing on the fun part of Durga Puja, and we're going to make the iconic vegetable chop and Mangsher chop, which is a vegetable croquet and a mince croquet. Let me tell you the ingredients that are going into each of these because it can get a little confusing. The vegetable chop, to begin with, basically has beetroot and carrot, and they're pretty, on a 1:1 ratio, and it's grated. Then we have some coriander, and I'll be mashing a potato into this and crushing the roasted peanuts and also adding it to that, and this is going to be cooked separately with some pachforon, some ginger, some green chilies, salt of course, and sugar. How can you have Bengali food without sugar? And the secret ingredient, which is different from all the other chops that you might eat, is the bhaja masala. So here we have jeera, cumin, we have dhania, coriander, fennel, sauf, we have 1 red chili, bay leaf, some pepper, a little bit of elaichi and a little bit of long, and a teensy bit of dalchini. And once the vegetables are cooked and ready, we shall be making logs out of them, and because it is bhej, we shall be making a paste with flour and corn flour, and then crumbs and frying. My very fancy banya shop didn't have regular brown breadcrumbs, so I had to buy panko breadcrumbs from him. He was like, "Oh, wala nahi hai." Okay. And now for the Mangsher chop, the mince croquet or mutton croquet. We have around half a kilo of mince there, and I'm just going to put a little salt and turmeric into it, and a little jeera, cumin powder, and a little garam masala powder. This is the homemade Bengali style garam masala, and some red chili powder. This is Yashu's really tasty red chili powder. We're totally addicted to that one. And I'll give this a mix. And to this I'm also going to add some ginger garlic paste, which is homemade as well. About 2 teaspoons, maybe a little more, 3 teaspoons. The mince prep is very simple. I'll just be frying some onions. This is 2 onions chopped fine, and adding that, and some green chilies to give it a little bit of heat, and raisins. I'm not very happy about raisins, but somehow Bengali Mangsher chop without the kishmish doesn't happen, so raisins will be added. Once the mince is cooked, I will be stuffing them in potatoes. Let me tell you a secret about using boiled potatoes. You should take them out if you're pressure cooking them. You should take them out of the pressure cooker immediately they're done and strain them out and let them dry so that whatever water there is goes away and you get a nice dryish mashed potato mix. And since this is as a non-veg, we shall be rolling it in some egg and some breadcrumbs and frying it. The first thing I'm going to do is get the bhaja masala out of the way because this needs to cool down and then get ground. Can you hear it crackling? That means it's done. Just a little bit of oil, don't need too much. And when the oil is hot, we shall put a little pachforon. And a little bit of ginger. And the beetroot. Carrot, green chilies, salt. Not going to use too much, you can always adjust it later. So while the carrots and the beetroot are cooking, we are going to start off the mince as well. And the mince I'm doing with mustard oil. Again, not too much oil, we don't really want it dripping in oil. Get the mustard oil smoking and then add the onion. So when this is like kind of wilty, I'm going to add some fresh coriander to it. And I'm going to add some peanuts to it. It's already smelling like a chop. And to this I'm going to add one boiled potato. Basically as a binder. So I'm adding 2 potatoes because I think one was too little, and these are small potatoes. And this is basically done. So I'm going to take it off the fire and let it cool down, and then we shall proceed with the next step. So I'll be adding the bhaja masala to this. I'm going to do it bit by bit. I don't want it overpowering the And even though this is beetroot and beetroot is sweet, I'm still going to add a little sugar, not too much, don't want it too sweet, and a little more bhaja masala. So onions are half brown. The beauty about cooking in mustard oil is, your onions get kind of crispy before they turn dark caramel brown, and that's really nice. So we're gonna add the mince to this now. Some green chili. And that is basically it. So I'm going to be leaving this covered. There's nothing else that has to go into it right now. We shall put the raisins in a little later so that they don't get mashed into the mince, and we're going to just cover it and leave it for around 10 minutes or so, and then come back and check. Meanwhile, we can make the vegetable cookies. First, we're going to make a paste out of this corn flour and flour. Just add the water bit by bit because you don't want it too liquidy. I'm going to try one with this quantity of thickness and see if it works. It's pulling it in. I think it's too thick. I have never done this before. So that was a little too thick for me. I'm adding a little more water. Yes, much better. You might find that the mince releases a little water. In case it does, then just put the flame on high. Don't tell the slow fire chef, and dry it up. So I'm putting in the raisins, and I'm going to add some fresh coriander. And a little sugar. I'm adding some potato to this as well. Potato basically works as the binder, and it has a nice taste, unlike bread or flour or something like that. So it's better way to bind your meat. I'm only gonna bash up one egg at a time because I don't know if I'll need both. Giving this a good mix. reason, these are all always log shaped. Okay, this is the part I always goof up. See, that's why it's necessary to have a as dry as possible potato. Now, of course, roll it in there. Roll! Dunk it in there. Chop. That is quite a what should I say, specialized skill, rolling out those, making those croquettes, and I seem to have managed. Okay, so we have some nice hot oil, and these are going to be deep fried. Gently. I'm not going to crowd the pan because I don't want disaster happening. Disaster. Looks like it is done. That's not bad. I'm going to be clever about this. The oil is hot now. So making sure that that potato is dry, that mashed potato is totally dry, is a trick that my cousin Urmimala Jain taught me, and she's of course a great one for making burgers and chops and cutlets and stuff. And so thank you Urmimala, also known as Pinku or Pim. This one has a bit of a bald spot, but that's okay. My vegetable chop and my Mangsher chop are both ready, and I'm just letting it cool a little bit before I break into them. The advantage with these is you can prep them and keep them ready in your fridge and fry them as and when you have guests arriving and serve them hot and hot. So which is why I'm going to fry these later. And both these chops are served with onion and kashundi. Kashundi is of course the Bengali mustard, and it is way better than the French one. So we believe. And of course, don't forget the sweets. Get your Bangla mishti from a nice Bengali mithai shop, and you're ready to celebrate Durga Puja. Have the fun part. And if you want to cook the Durga Puja bhog, the traditional one, then refer to our last year's episode on Durga Puja. So I shall try the vegetable chop first. As you can see, it's nice and crusty. And there it is. And the dip here. Yummy. I really think I should open a chop shop. And now for the Mangsher chop. Oh, look at that. Don't get too much of the kashundi in, because then otherwise you have to hit your head. I love this. I know Mehra's gonna freak out. I think this is really yummy. And one thing which is different from the shops is that this has more meat and less potato. What they sell there is more potato, less meat. I hope you all have a really good festival season. Navratras, then Diwali, then Christmas, and New Year. Wow, there's like a roller coaster of festivals that are going to happen now. And don't forget, of course, the dandiya. I think I should go and do some dandiya dancing this time. A very happy Durga Puja to all of you, whether you're a Bengali or a non-Bengali, and especially to Amit's Bengali Mafia. Haha.